This is it, the Sunday that forges legends. It's the last brutal test before the Super Bowl. You've got 2 games, 4 teams, and only 2 of them get that ticket to the biggest show in American sports. Welcome to Championship Sunday, where everything is on the line. So, what does it actually feel like? I mean, really, what's going through your head when you're just 60 minutes away from your ultimate dream or from total heartbreak? That's what we're diving into today. Not just the X's and O's, but the real, raw emotion of it all, straight from the people who were in the middle of that storm. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start right there, on the brink of glory. Then we'll get into the 2 very different stories from the NFC and the AFC Championship games. After that, we'll see how the Super Bowl stage is officially set, and finally, we'll zoom out and look at the massive ripple effect these games have across the entire league. Okay, let's jump right in with our first game, the NFC Championship. Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Rams. And this one was so much more than a football game. It was a classic tale of 2 completely different destinies colliding. You know, the big story everyone was talking about leading up to this game was Seattle's quarterback, Sam Darnold. The Rams had been his kryptonite. So for him, this wasn't just about winning a game, this was personal. This was about slaying a dragon. And he did it. You can just hear the absolute joy and relief in his voice. After everything, after all the talk, he and his team fought their way to Super Bowl 60. I mean, talk about a weight off your shoulders. The dream is real. But, and there's always a but on Championship Sunday, for every incredible high, there's an equally devastating low. You look over at the other sideline, and for Rams coach Sean McVay, that final whistle wasn't just a sound. It was the sudden, brutal end to a fantastic season. Just listen to that quote for a second. It's hard to fathom that it's over. That's the sound of pure shock and sadness. He's not just talking about a loss. He's talking about the end of a journey with a team he loves. That's the agony part of all this. Now let's flip over to the AFC because a totally different kind of drama was playing out there. You had the New England Patriots, a team a lot of people had written off, going into hostile territory in Denver and just finding a way to win. And this quote from Stefon Diggs, man, just says it all, doesn't it? It's that defiant, us against the world mentality. You can tell they heard all the doubters all season long, and they channeled it into fuel. Proving everybody wrong, there's no better feeling. And the score alone tells you what kind of game this was. 10-7. This was no track meet. This was a rock fight. A gritty, old-school defensive brawl where every single inch was a battle. A win like that just feels different, you know? It feels earned. And the guy leading the charge, their second-year quarterback, Maye. To get to the Super Bowl this early in your career, it's just incredible. You can just imagine him standing there after the game, probably in a bit of a daze, just trying to process what he and his team had just accomplished. But of course, we have to look at the other locker room. For the Denver Broncos, this wasn't just sadness. It was pure gut-wrenching frustration. It's that awful feeling of what if that's going to stick with them for a long, long time. Their quarterback, Jarrett Stidham, just nails that feeling right here. You know, it's one thing to get blown out, but it's another kind of pain to know you were so close. They were moving the ball, they were in it the whole way, but in a game decided by 3 points, those missed opportunities are just killers. So, when all the smoke cleared after all the celebration and all the heartbreak, we're left with 2. The final matchup for the Lombardi Trophy in Super Bowl 60 is officially locked in. And what a matchup it is. I mean, look at these storylines. You've got the Seattle Seahawks with Sam Darnold on his redemption tour, finally getting over the hump. And on the other side, you've got the New England Patriots, the ultimate underdogs, led by their young quarterback, Maye, who've been shocking people all year. It's going to be fantastic. But here's something that's easy to forget. The story of Championship Sunday doesn't just end with those 4 teams. The second those games were over, a tidal wave of consequences started spreading across the entire National Football League. Right, because for the 2 teams that lost, their offseason just started immediately. And that means their coaches and coordinators are suddenly available. For every other team in the league looking to make a change, the game of musical chairs just kicked into overdrive. And I mean, it happens fast. Look at this. The Raiders are already calling up a Broncos coach. The Browns want to talk to a guy from the Rams. The Packers pounce and make a hire. And at the same time, teams like the Eagles are watching their top choices get snatched up. It's this absolute frenzy that starts to reshape the entire league for next year, all within hours. And really, that's what this all boils down to, right? 2 teams are on top of the world, getting ready for the Super Bowl. And 30 other teams? Well, they're back at square one, pulling out the blueprints, looking at the draft, and all asking that one big question. How do we get to be one of those 2 teams next year? It's just a relentless cycle.
So, as we get ready for the big game, it just leaves you with this one last thought to chew on. We obsess over who wins and who loses. But when it's all said and done, what's the real story? Is it just the final score? Or is it all of this? The thrill, the agony, the human journey that it took to get there? Something to think about.